All right, so this Knife Thoughts video is going to be kind of just a fun one here. Now, recently, Knife Center did a sale where you could get free shipping just for the weekend on any knives. So I was looking around at what they had to see if there were any deals and such, and I just clicked, sort by price from low to high, and there were some really low price knives, and got the idea to just order the cheapest folding knife and the cheapest fixed blade that Knife Center had, and them shipped to me for free, which normally you wouldn't buy these on their own because the shipping was going to would end up being probably about as much as the knives. But because of the free shipping promotion, I was able to get them without being an impediment or being the price of the knives again for shipping. So what are these knives? Well, first, the folding knife is a MAM, M-A-M, Fil-MAM. They kind of use both MAM and FIL-MAM. You can see the website is filmam.com. And this is a Portuguese company that makes kind of traditional, lower priced, budget, kind of working knives like this. And this is the, what does it say on here? I guess it doesn't say on here. This is the 2A is what it was called on Knife Center. And then as for the fixed blade, this is and I'm not sure that I'm pronouncing this correctly, Kanetsune plastic Kiridashi is what it was called on Knife Center. So these knives were each $5.95 before taxes. So in total, the order came to like $12.71 or something like that. Basically, a little over $6 each, $6.25, something like that, $6.50. So very, very inexpensive, really, really low cost. And I just wanted to, see what they were like. Well, the first impressions that I had, I took this one out first, and we'll take a look at it here. The first impression was that it is smaller than I expected. I didn't really read the specs, to be honest. It's about a 2.25 inch model here, and the blade is a kind of classic spear point. You can see that it has somewhat equal belly and then spine curvature there, and it has the logo MAM Inox PA Laculo. No idea what that means, but and then it says MAM Portugal since 1870 on the other side. The other thing is I wasn't really sure. I didn't look closely enough again at the specs, but this is a non-locking knife, which I didn't realize. I have found after more use on opinels, or opinel, however you say it, you know what I'm talking about, that these knives that are just a blade in kind of a wood cutout, or a channel cut out of wood, they tend to get really sticky and difficult to open and close if there's any moisture. So not really a big fan of this type of mechanism where it is just this soft wood against the blade. The other thing here is that it is pretty off center. It definitely hits the liner, and you can see that the reason for that is because the blade seems to be significantly bent. It's not straight. And if you look closely while I close it, it's actually all the way over on this side here up at the top. But then down at the bottom, you can see it's actually kind of cutting along the edge of the blade well. So I did actually carry this knife for like 2 days after getting it, just because I didn't use it because I had other knives with me that were much better for use. And so that's pretty much my thoughts on this one. It certainly is light, it certainly is small, and it certainly is inexpensive. So moving on to the fixed blade. Now, this one is made in Japan, which when I was looking at this, I was looking at the specs before doing this video. It certainly has a Japanese name, but I wasn't sure if it would actually be made in China. But it is made in Japan, in Seki City, which is where a lot of Japanese-made knives are made. I think that this area here is supposed to be a lanyard hole, but it didn't actually get like punched the whole way through. You can see light through it. So I think that you could punch that through if you wanted to. Yeah, there we go. But that said, the first thing I noticed about this when I opened it is that there is not very much sheath retention. I wouldn't carry this on a lanyard or put, you know, a lanyard on it or anything like that, because I would be afraid that it would come, you know, open or unsheath itself. Speaking of that, it has this sticker on it that shows you how to unsheath it, and I'm not really sure why that's necessary. Certainly, you don't need to press on this thing. They add this little thumb ramp. You can very easily just, you know, hold on the sheath and hold on the handle, and it will definitely come apart. So not sure why they needed to put that thumb ramp. Maybe it orients it. It looks like you can put it on both, put the sheath in on both ways. So don't really see any reason for that. Now, the handle is very simple, as you can see. It does have a little bit of a guard. Don't know how necessary that is, being the type of blade that this is. It's a Kiridashi style blade, so it's a straight angled edge, almost just like a chisel. It is one-sided. The grind, the primary bevel, is only on one side, and then it's just sharpened on the back side. This is not sharpened. It just must have had a burr or something, or maybe they just lay the blade down to sharpen it, and so, you know, it hit this top edge also. It's not sharpened up there. The blade itself seems sharp. I use this for like basically cutting what I call a speed hole in a cup of coffee. So you put extra holes at the top of the lid, you can drink it more smoothly basically. But that's the extent of what I use this for, and that's again because I just had better options. This knife, honestly, I was worried the whole time I had this in my pocket. I did carry it for, again, about 2 days. And I was worried the whole time I had it in my pocket that it was going to come open and stab the bejesus out of my leg. So that's my impressions of this knife. So overall, again, these knives were about, we'll say $6.50 each. I think the thing to take from this is that there is a lower threshold that you really aren't going to get your value out of below. And for fixed blades, I think that it was about $10. The Mora Basic, so this is the 511, and then there's the 5. This one I used to skin a deer and then left it out for quite a while, so not good knife maintenance. But and then there's the stainless version, the 546, I believe. These were, you know, you could find them for about $9 on Amazon and Knife Center, places like that. Now they tend to be closer to like $12, $13, but still, you know, about twice the price of this, but only an extra $6. I think that's about the lower limit, the lower threshold of where you want to go. And then you can go a little higher into things like a Mora Companion if you want a bigger knife. These are $15 to $20, I think, is the normal range. And again, I think that's a great deal. And then you can even get, if you want something with a straight edge, like that Kiridashi, the Kanetsune, if that's how you pronounce it, Kiridashi, you could get a CRKT Minimalist. These are often on Amazon for about $20, $25, things like that. And again, thanks to my friend Mike who gave me this knife. And then same deal on the MAM or MAM or MAM, whatever you call this knife. I think that $6 is just too little to get a worthwhile knife. The lower limit, actually, you can find some Rough Rider knives still for about $8. And those are going to be better than this. But those, again, also have moved up closer to about $10. Some examples. Not sure exactly how much this specific model is, but this is a Saddle Trapper, much better knife, and not too much expensive. About twice the price, which in this case only means about $12. And same deal here. This is the Rough Rider work knife, and much better knife, more, you know, a more enjoyable and a more practical knife. Again, maybe $10 to $15. Getting into the $15 range, I've actually been really impressed and happy with this cattleman cutlery knife that I got from Traditional Pocket Knives. This is a heck of a knife for $15, and there's some nice models on this cattleman's cutlery. So I only do have the one of these, but I've heard other people have had good experiences also. So I think if you'd like to go into that $15 range, you can get into this. And then moving into the $20, some, but not all, but some Swiss Army knives, Victorinox Swiss Army knives, are in the $20 to $30 range. And I think all of those are good options for very budget-friendly folding knives, traditional folding knives, if that's, you know, what you're interested in, that you are going to get your money's worth out of and be a lot happier than if you bought something in this $6 range. So do I think that these knives are worth it? Do I think that there's really any reason to get these? Honestly, no. Because if you're buying a knife from Knife Center, you're probably buying it because you enjoy knives. And I just don't think, I think that you would be better off, you know, saving up the extra $6 or even $10 or even $20 to get a little bit better knife and skip these. Even if you were trying to buy the most inexpensive knife you could to, you know, just use and abuse, I don't really think that these would be good options, because again, I just don't trust this sheath. I think if you were going to have this even in a, you know, in your car, something like that, I would be too afraid that it would come out of the sheath and, you know, be a hazard. And then for this one, it's just, you know, this will cut, certainly. There's no issue. I don't think there's a big safety issue with this one. It's going to stay closed pretty well, but it's just, you know, not that nice. And maybe as something where you throw it in a drawer, but I don't think if you're going to buy a knife on Knife Center, it's because you enjoy knives, and I don't think you're going to enjoy this one as much as you would something that's a little bit more expensive. So I bought them so you don't have to, basically, but it was fun to get to check them out, and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up, and you can leave any comments you have about these knives. And I'd also be interested in other like ultra budget friendly knives. I really like budget knives in the sense of, you know, $25 to $75 range knives. And I'm interested in, you know, if there's any good knives that are lower than that. So feel free to leave comments about that. And also make sure you're subscribed to the channel. You can click the bell and select all so you know when I post new videos. Check out my website, knifethoughts.com, where I post articles on knives like these and knife-related topics. And last but not least, as always, don't forget to go out and do good.